and SUVs. $2.5 million in inventory, starting at $2,995. Down payments as low as $29. And payments starting at just $99 a month. Shop at PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
More Force, we've been through a lot this year, from saving Christmas to facing some of our most nefarious foes.
Like the leprechaun.
Like the tax man.
Or the overpricer.
And we defeated them all. So no matter what villain comes for our customers, they'll have to come through us first. We'll keep slashing our prices on new vehicles and beefing up our certified pre-owned selection. All just a click away at MitchellNissan.com. So whatever they need, the More Force is prepared.
More Force!
MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. His name is Bill Rice Jr. as we start a Tuesday on our show. And for all you Alabama fans, the sun, if I'm not wrong, was out this morning.
Yep, because I was coming in on Montgomery Street and it almost blinded me, so the sun came up.
Boy, I tell you, we've got a blinding sun in the mornings and the afternoons in Troy, Alabama. And I'll tell you, it'll have an effect on you, especially when you're in the early morning when that sun is just beaming down on you while you're trying to drive. Of course, Alabama lost last night to Georgia, 33-18, and what I thought was a very good game. Alabama, of course, when the game was on the line, just could not produce in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, everybody holds up four fingers in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter's ours. It was
now, even though we did score, we scored in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough, wasn't it? Is that right? Then we scored with about 10 minutes gone.
Alabama was leading 18-13, and then Georgia scored and went up 19-18. Then they score a touchdown to go up by 8 with about 3:20 left, and then Alabama starts to move down the field. Yeah. And I really thought it was going to come down to that Bryce was going to do it again, and Alabama was going to score, and it was going to come down to a 2-point play. But no, Alabama threw an interception at when it crossed midfield, and dang if Georgia didn't run it all the way back 90-something yards.
And of course, good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Morning. I'm sure we've had no sleep.
Oh, are you serious? Yeah. I didn't feel bad about it because I felt like Georgia had a better team. There's no question in my mind.
No, I'm just talking about the game. Didn't get over it so late.
Oh, I know.
I'm super proud of this Alabama team. I thought
that's right.
Win or lose. I was like, this is Saban's worst team by far to play for a national championship, and actually was winning the game in the fourth quarter. So you can't ask for much more.
Yeah.
Injuries were Alabama had terrible injury luck starting from the SEC to lose Mechie, who is a great Warrior player, then to lose Williams in this game, and then both of your starting cornerbacks, and still, like you say, you have a really good chance to win the ball game is actually pretty impressive.
Who actually, Mike? Can you name the injured players and Jude? Joe, what's his name?
Joby.
Joby, or the starting corner.
Josh Armour Simpson were their two starting corners.
Well, see,
I mentioned that on the show yesterday to Max. Max thought it was crazy about Alabama playing two new starters in the secondary, but
yeah.
Bennett, the guy that he's 5'9", 5'10", and threw a ball up
He is not.
Late.
And in my opinion, he is not. He's more of an ordinary quarterback. He threw that ball and made him look good, but they had the freshman on him that never hardly played a down that there all year long, and that's who they went up against.
You had a junior college transfer, and you had Kool-Aid McKinstry, who I think will be a great player, but he's young. Pickens caught an unbelievable bomb earlier in the game.
Yeah, that was a big one.
And then they had that long run, and that was really how they scored their first two times was a long run of 70 yards and a pass of about 60 yards. And Alabama's defense, I felt like played lights out.
I thought they played well
most of the game, but in the fourth quarter they just it was like some of these old games where you just say get a stop, Alabama.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it. I for a while I thought Georgia was gassed, but at the end of the game it looked like Alabama was.
You know who
Georgia scored 27 points in the second half, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know one of them was on a touchdown at the end of the game, and Kirby Smart had to be just out of his mind when that guy tried to return that for a touchdown, even though he did. That's a great chance to get that ball fumbled.
Yeah.
That ball get knocked out of your hands. I mean, that was kind
Yeah.
of a stupid play on that guy's part. Of course, the over almost hit, which would have been one of the greatest overs ever. When he scored that touchdown.
But the under hit, and of course the line was Georgia minus 2, and under 53 at game time.
Yeah.
And of course,
there's a lot of big money out of Vegas that came on Alabama late.
well, you know what I said to myself. Especially when we went up 18-13. I said, "Here we go again. Bama's gonna win this thing." And but then let me tell you this: an unsung hero. Now number 2, White, that running back. Hey, they could have run him a lot more, and I believe he'd been successful because he wasn't being touched until he gained 5 yards.
In the fourth quarter, they were running the ball on Alabama. Alabama ran out of gas.
In fact, Alabama did. Georgia did to Alabama what Alabama did to them in the conference championship game was what we talked about is conditioning. This time, I believe that Georgia was better conditioned.
There's one guy in Troy that's happy today with that peanut butter man, Robert Jacobs. He's a huge Georgia fan.
Oh, yeah.
He's on his family after all.
Well, I'll tell you this too. Also,
there were a lot more. Georgia
something I said would have been true if Alabama could have come through with it was allow, and it was a fact. They did not allow Georgia to substitute. And by running the ball and passing the ball like they did, the substitution deal was really important. And I thought things were really working in Alabama's favor. But midway, about halfway over the half.
I felt like the biggest play was that block kick. I think that changed all the momentum in the game to me. That was a huge block kick. Riker kicked it so low, the defensive lineman blocked it.
Yeah, and then they 81 dropped the touchdown pass that would have helped Alabama.
Latu played out of his mind. I mean, obviously Alabama has no confidence in Billingsley. You'll probably see him transfer or get in the portal.
Yeah.
They don't even throw the ball to him anymore.
Or when they do,
Agnew Hall came in and made some plays, but he also dropped the touchdown.
Who is this Hall guy, Mike? He played it all during the season.
No, he had not played all year. He'd been in the doghouse all year. He's number 84, but he's one of the only guys that could get open. Yeah. He did make it up for it, make a catch later, but then they went right back to him on the next play. Looked like he dropped it in the end zone, and then you got the ball at the 5-yard line there. Why don't you run Robinson 3 times?
I know, yeah.
I mean, instead they had to kick a chip shot field goal. That was another wasted opportunity.
You're saying all these things, and then there were some passes that were almost could have been caught. Alabama had all kind of chances, so in a way.
Bryce Young threw two horrible interceptions too. Let's not say that he had. I mean, that was a very average game, and he had guys pressure watching him all night.
He really didn't have time to turn around. And we've talked, and I mentioned it over and over. He's not a real physical guy. You know what? They made him look slow. He wasn't near as quick as been.
Yeah.
I remember 2 or 3 times where he ran out of the pocket, and they just ran him down.
Yeah, well,
that Georgia team was really
good.
good.
They didn't have any design runs, which I was kind of shocked. I thought they were going to try to run him more.
Yeah, I thought they did too.
That's running against him in the first game. Even some guy on a sports radio show I listened to yesterday thought he'd rush for over 85 yards. They thought he'd run that much.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson looked really good on one drive, and that was it. He didn't look good really the rest of the game.
That's right. And but you got to keep hammering. And let me tell you something. We weren't doing much with their front. Their front pretty much handled us, and just no place to go. I said, one day I was watching the Tennessee Titans play, and was watching the Alabama great run the ball. Even him, as tough and strong as he is, if the defense is there, you're not going to run through it.
And they're hitting you in the backfield, you're not going to do anything.
So they beat us up front, on both sides. But I thought Alabama played well.
Alabama finishes 13-2. Southeastern Conference champions. I mean, it's still a really great year.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, Georgia's going to be good from here on. Alabama's going to be good from here on. I can't see anybody else that, I don't know, maybe Auburn in a way can be physical enough to play with these guys, but now.
You got to think A&M, if they ever get a quarterback, they just put the number one recruit class. You got to think eventually they're going to be right up there.
Maybe.
Well, I was hoping that Alabama could pull it off, and then that would have made that miraculous comeback against Auburn even more amazing and important. Because absent that comeback, Alabama's not even in the playoffs.
How many offensive linemen did Alabama lose, Mike, by injury?
Offensive linemen all came back and played. I don't know if they were 100%. I mean, they'll lose Chris Owens, and they'll lose Neal, Cohen, Epcor, and McLaughlin at center will be back. So I'll only lose 2 starters on the offensive line. I just hate it for Jamison Williams. I mean, that guy had gone all the way up the draft boards to number 6 pick.
Oh, man.
Mechie both for torn ACLs. I don't know what they do. I mean,
I don't know.
I know they won't be able to participate in the NFL Combine.
Did Williams tear his ACL? Have we heard that?
I don't know if it's been confirmed. It looks like it's definitely a torn ACL. I don't see what
it was really a freaky.
It was a bad.
I couldn't watch it when they showed the replay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about Williams is he made 2 people cover him, so that would have made.
Yeah, that changed the whole ball. He was having a great night. He had like 65, 70 yards receiving.
Already.
He went out early in the second quarter.
Yeah, he makes a couple of more plays in that ball game, and it changes.
Well, like I said, his presence alone makes them change their defense.
I think Alabama wins if Williams stays in the game.
Well.
I think that's how big of a factor he is. He makes all those other guys get open more. In the field.
But of course, I watched it, and you couldn't help in a way, sort of, I was glad to see if somebody was going to beat Alabama, somebody like Georgia, who I thought was better. It always makes you feel better if you lose to a better team.
Well, no, I mean, are they better though? Alabama beat them by 17 in the SEC championship.
I don't know.
They lost Mechie and they lost Williams. They lost Mechie in the first game too. They lost Williams early in the second quarter. I mean, I think Alabama's as good as Georgia, to be honest.
Well, last night.
I thought you were throwing to nobody. You got to have your guys out there to throw to.
Yeah. That was the key. They shut.
He was throwing the people that had caught 1 to 3 passes all season long.
Yeah.
It was just really.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of guys Holden in the game, number 11, Hall.
Yeah.
I'm talking about guys that had not played. I mean, probably had only played in maybe 1 or 2 games.
Where is Hall from, Michael? Where is he from?
Miami, Florida. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I felt like Alabama defensively.
Thank you.
I
I appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you.
But then, before the half. You know, Alabama sends Georgia deep. Alabama's got 3 timeouts before the half. You know, Saban doesn't call a timeout.
I know why he didn't do that. I don't know.
He doesn't put any pressure on them. You know, Alabama needs to score as many points as possible, especially with Williams going down.
That's right.
I never will understand why Saban doesn't use his timeouts. And then late in the game, you're down 26-18.
He started.
Alabama doesn't ever call a timeout. You know, they didn't have to throw that pass that got intercepted for the touchdown. They needed 10 yards.
Yeah.
And it's only 3rd down. I mean, get 5 yards here, get 5 yards there. You got 3 timeouts.
Yeah. They missed the boat on that the pass that was called. You know, Georgia quarterback threw the pass, or they call it a fumble. That would you can see his arm coming. I
thought when I first saw it.
Hand went back. It wasn't like Bryce Young's that went forward. I felt like that was one of the greatest plays called ever by a leader official.
You did, but it looked like it looked like to me his arm was going forward.
I thought so too when I watched it live. But the last replay I watched, the ball is coming out of his hand before his hand goes forward, so it's a fumble. To me, it was no different.
ESPN's lead official analysis guy in the box, I mean, a retired official, said he thought it was a fumble and he thought it was a recovery. He thought it was a good call.
Well,
that was a great.
And they didn't take advantage of it, did they?
Yeah, they scored.
They did score that.
They scored a touchdown on that one.
But
let's call a pass on an unbelievable scramble by Bryce Young. He scrambled and somehow got it in there for a touchdown. And then on the 2-point conversion, Bryce Young, like Dad said, tried to outrun a guy. Some big defensive lineman.
They just run him down. Yeah,
like the 5-yard line.
That was a bad. I would have liked to see him run the ball there. We didn't have the receivers to put it in tight spaces. That 2-point conversion would have been big.
I'll tell you what, Bryce Young did, and of course he couldn't help it a lot of times because they weren't blocking well. But he didn't look like a Heisman Trophy winner last night. I thought he was very, very ordinary.
He still threw for almost 400 yards.
What he did?
368 yards.
Golly, he must have had a couple of big pass plays.
Williams for most of the game, so and he had some.
Yeah, Williams and Metsy. I mean, that totally changes what Georgia can do defensively. I mean, and then Alabama had 2 corners out. I mean, it was just the disaster waiting to happen. It actually is shocking that Georgia didn't take advantage of that early. You know, one time that defensive back for Alabama, I can't remember his name, number 6, he tackled the Georgia wide receiver because he got beat deep.
Oh yeah, that was a good play.
You know, Alabama has more passing appearances. Always have. I don't like the way that this technique they teach the defensive backs with. I don't think it's right. I mean, that's criticizing Saban. He's been doing it forever, but half the time, and they don't look and find the ball. That's always been that way, and so that's why you get a lot of these pass interferences.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. You know, Lanning leaves Georgia, their defense coordinator. It's now the Oregon head coach. I imagine Georgia will promote Will Muschamp, the defense coordinator. He's already on the staff. And then you got an interesting story there because Lanning goes to Oregon. Oregon and Georgia open the season against each other next year.
And the quarterback for Oregon is going to be you-know-who.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I'll take Georgia right now.
You're right.
I don't know if Bennett comes back next year or not. They keep on talking about Caleb Williams, the Oklahoma quarterback, the star Oklahoma quarterback, looking to transfer to Georgia. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But
oh no!
If they get that Oklahoma quarterback, man, look out.
Yeah. Again, the quarterback did a great job, but I think, don't you think he's just pretty much an ordinary quarterback?
Bryce Young?
Yeah, no, Georgia's quarterback.
I've always thought he's underrated, and he's got a bum rap. I mean, most games he does really, really good. He lit it up in Michigan and played fine against Alabama last night.
He was unable to.
He can run a little bit, and he throws accurately. Shows that you can.
Looked like he was real nervous at first against Alabama last night. Alabama looked thought they had him rattled early.
You're right. I think they did too. But it was a great game.
Whose NFL draft stock went up last night for Alabama was Christian Harris, number 8.
Oh yeah, he's tough. Yes, sir.
So he's early to the draft, I would think.
Well, he pursues and he rushes the passer good. But you watch some of those running plays where Georgia was just running it right straight up the middle. Those linebackers for Alabama were getting blocked.
Yeah.
I tell you who played a good game.
Toa did not play good for Alabama, number 10. You didn't see him make many tackles on out. Will Anderson played out of his mind. He was all over the place.
Number 15 was
15 is going to be as good as Will Anderson.
I tell you, he is going to be good. What's his name, Mike?
Dallas Turner. They say Will Anderson, he could sit out all of next year if he wanted to and probably still be a top 5 pick, maybe the number 1 pick. That's what they're already saying, in the NFL, that he could sit out all next year. Of course, I'm sure he'll play. Because now with name, Amos, and likeness, you can probably make a couple $1 million.
Well, I tell you.
I'm worried about that too. The LSU receiver that's now going to be the rookie of the year in the NFL for Cincinnati. He did that, and it worked out pretty good for him.
Yeah. And,
we had Coach Summerall on yesterday, Rice, and Dad and I were very impressed with him.
Man, I hated it. I was under the weather, and I didn't want to put your dad and Coach Summerall at risk. So I said, well, I'm not going to come in. I think I'd had a little fever the day before.
Wait a minute. Now you did you go by and get checked?
No, they said I have read my guidance, and they said don't. The hospitals are overrun, and they said monitor yourself.
You gotta be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, I got a bunch of my high-end restaurants down here battling, COVID throughout their staffs, and 2 or 3 of my big restaurants are having to be closed down right now because they don't have enough people to work.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, it's not just COVID, it's kind of flu or this cold-like symptoms too. I've got a lot of congestion and cold-type symptoms, so that leads me to believe that's not COVID.
Yeah, we've got most of the staff, it looks like, has been hired at Troy. We got Joe Craddock as offense coordinator. I think Shill Wood as defense coordinator, and then Bam Harmon's back at Troy coaching linebackers, defensive ends, and then you got Alto back as secondary coach, Gary Banks as wide receiver coach. I think he said he's made 2 more hires on the offensive line and defensive line coaches.
Yeah.
Those have not been announced yet. And then I think he said a couple guys have transferred in as well, but they can't release those names yet.
He also mentioned one guy that we would be surprised, so I think this offensive line coach is supposed to be real special that he's got coming in here.
Well, he's got the second recruiting period coming up.
Well, in February, that's right, it is coming up. No question about it.
So,
yeah, he mentioned, that Troy's numbers are already very high. You asked if he had 85 scholarships, and he said yes, but they're already close to that number. But the scholarships are a 1-year deal, though.
Yeah, that's right, and especially if you're a new coach coming in, I could understand if a coach was, the same coach, and he recruited these kids, and they ought to be more loyal to him, but this coach is not doesn't have to be loyal to any of these players because he didn't sign them, and he could go and get the players he wants. He hopes he could get through the portal. The portal is going to change recruiting because it just makes sense. I mean, they're so like Alabama. You take Alabama, you take Georgia. There are guys right there, third string linemen that probably will never even see much action that could play for Troy or North Alabama or Jacksonville State or wherever.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
But
it'll be interesting to see what Alabama does next year at running back. You lose Brian Robinson, and then
the other guy just has not been impressive.
Josh McClellan, who was the backup running back, number 21, blows out his knee. And then Rodell Williams, the backup to Josh McClellan, blows out his knee.
All right,
Barry
now.
Sanders was coming off a broken ankle, had to have hip surgery after a car accident, number 6 for Alabama. He made a few good runs and catches to get first downs last night. And then Wheaton, the star running back Foster out of Texas, never sees the field because he had a torn meniscus
Oh, gosh.
before the season starts for Alabama. I mean, I don't know what happens to running back.
Just off your memory, these guys that were hurt and didn't show up, list them for us if you could. I want to say there's as many as 15.
Receivers, 2 cornerbacks. You also forget that we lost Allen, the great outside linebacker in the game 1.
Oh yeah, Chris Allen. Yeah,
he was a second, third, fourth round NFL pick. Gone. Great pass rusher. So all things considered, you're right. The Alabama manages to win 13 games and the SEC championship with all of that attrition.
And you had a center that you lost. Didn't you lose that center?
Yeah, for a couple games.
Yeah, starting center Delacorte, but the other guy came in and played better, that McLaughlin kid. But also Alabama's got to get a punter. I mean, that guy was kicking 35-yard punts last night. The Georgia kicker had a thunderfoot. I mean, he'll be kicking the pros.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know why
they
Troy
got
transferred in.
Jack Martin from Troy. Kid that transferred out of Troy. He's from Dothan, Northview High School. All Martin did at Troy last year, or not last year, but the year before, was average 46 yards a punt. He was all Sun Belt Conference punter. And this guy from Australia is kicking 35-yard punts.
Oh, yeah.
All year. Alabama has the worst Australian punter of all the Australian punters.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to have, stretch the field. That's big in a game like that. And, also Alabama one time today, Riker guy kicks it 5 yards deep every time. He kicks it short. One time kicks it out of bounds. They get the ball at 35-yard line. That was big.
Yep.
We appreciate Southeast Alabama Gas District, located with main headquarters in Andalusia, but numerous stores throughout the central and South Alabama.
Went to see him yesterday afternoon and paid him a bill.
Of course, do you have gas logs?
Yeah.
Do y'all ever use them much?
We've lost our little key that turns them on. What do you do?
They might make you one of those.
Yeah, they probably could. But I tell you, up there this morning, Mike, go ahead and ask him what the temperature is in
Troy?
No, in Indiana.
I don't know. I have to look.
Yeah, I want to say it was 9 degrees this morning.
Oh, we got another big game tonight, Alabama and Auburn in basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Auburn's ranked 4th in the country. A lot of people think they've got a great chance to go to the Final Four. Alabama just got beat by Missouri. 30 degrees in Troy, Alabama right now. That's pretty
Temperature for Indianapolis, Indiana. It's 13 degrees, bless their hearts. Hey, everything was great. Then you walk outside, you almost freeze to death. 13 degrees.
Will Matthews was at the game. I guess maybe we'll hear from Will.
Yeah. This is the best thing in the world as far as weather. Let's get. What did you say Troy was? The weather for Troy, Alabama.
30. I read a blurb that the coldest air in years or decades is getting ready to come into America. I don't know where. I just saw the headline. So we had global warming for a little while when we had all those 75-degree days.
Temperature for Troy, Alabama.
30 degrees in Troy.
Let's see what I get. 32 degrees in Troy, what I got. Sunny, though.
Troy also will play a big game. Georgia Southern will be at Trojan Arena on Thursday night for Troy's basketball team. That's 12-5. And then come this weekend, you got Georgia State, who's always really good at basketball. So 2 really great games in basketball. And Troy will end this 4-game
wait a minute, not yet.
They've had, and they could go 4-0.
Here we go.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Bill. Will Matthews.
Hey.
Where are you up there, Will?
I'm alive, and I'm somewhere in Indiana headed south.
Oh boy, you got it's cold this morning. I just looked at the temperature for Indianapolis. It's 13 degrees.
It's 15 where I'm at right now.
Is it snowing? Or snow on the ground?
No, it's beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah. Did you have a good time, Will?
I did. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Georgia had probably 75% of the people there.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
And it made a difference too in the game.
Yeah. They need something.
That's really strange to me that Alabama could beat Georgia by 17 in the SEC championship game, and the Alabama fan base not, jump all over tickets. I mean, if I had a chance to get a ticket, I would have gone.
Yeah.
Well, I had
there
a friend.
There were a lot of tickets available, Michael.
Were they outside the gate or where? Where were
Yeah.
they?
Oh yeah.
You could. How much could you have bought one for?
You have to get it off the phone, though, don't you? When you have to transfer the ticket to you.
I had hard tickets. I had regular tickets, but yeah, they had some on on phones.
Yeah.
Well, Alabama played them tough, though. I mean, with losing Williams early in the second quarter, I mean, he had nobody to throw to that he had any.
Well, the game was over when he got hurt.
Yeah.
The game was over when he got hurt, and Michael, they could not score inside the 10-yard line.
No.
Yeah.
And you got to take some chances. And they wouldn't throw in the end zone. They wanted to throw these little passes and try to catch somebody and run it into the end zone. You got to go ahead and take a shot down there,
Oh, yeah.
if you're going to win.
Will Matthews calling from Indianapolis.
I still can't believe they finished 13-2 and played in the national championship game. And, you lose your two best wide receivers.
And they lost 10 players from last year to the NFL.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, me, that's right. No telling what those
So they lost 10 great players, and then they just have injury after injury after injury, especially at the end of the year. You're right. You can't be too down on. And they played a really good, great Georgia team that was hungry. You talk about the crowd. Here's what's happened. You go back to 2008 when Saban turned this around, starting with all these neutral site games in Atlanta, and then you got SEC championship games, and then you got playoff games, bowl games. The Alabama fan base is tapped, man. I mean, they have the ones that can afford it. They're just not going to. The people that have had these bucket list trips have done them already, and they're $5,000 trips if you do it right. And there's just not many people that can do that over and over and over and over again. Now you compare with Georgia, they haven't won a national championship in 41 years, so of course they're going to be crazy. It's like Cincinnati and Dallas.
Yeah. No question about it.
How was Indianapolis? That stadium looked pretty cool up there. It looked like a pretty cool looking dome.
Hey, I tell you what, that's one of the nicest stadiums I've ever been in. It was nice.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
They have a lot of stuff outside. Of course, it was so cold, but they have anything like indoor, like a mall facility, any like restaurants where you could walk around and get out of the cold.
Oh yeah, Michael, we parked in the mall parking lot. We ate dinner at P.F. Chang's at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then they've got a convention center there. They had a fanfare, kind of like in Atlanta for the SEC thing,
Yeah.
They had that, and you never had to go outside. It was, all of it was under the roof.
Are they making everybody mask up, or could you go out your mouth?
I did have to mask.
I saw maybe 100 masks out of 68,000.
Well, so you must have did well because you're parked at McDonald's eating ordering breakfast. Is that right?
I ain't found one yet, but as soon as I find one, I'm gonna have me a latte.
Oh, Will,
How long does it take to drive up to Indianapolis, Will?
About 11 hours.
it was 65 all the way, wasn't it, after you got to Montgomery, wasn't it?
No, I went through Atlanta.
You did?
And
Golly, I would think that was
it was interstate all the way.
Listen, I would have thought that, golly, I would have thought going through Atlanta would be way out of the way, Will.
No, it's 75.
Well, 65, out of Montgomery goes all the way to Indianapolis, pretty much.
Yeah, but you kind of curve.
Yeah. Well, I
goes straight to it.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I'm really, I didn't.
Did you stay to the very end after the touchdown? Did you stay in to see if Alabama could get a touchdown and go for two?
No, it was 15-point game, I think, when we left.
Your over-under was in jeopardy.
Alabama, having Bowers, the tight end, catching that touchdown and scoring was really Alabama's best chance. Very smart. And Georgia, the way they were moving the ball, looked like they might have could have run the clock out. That really probably was Alabama's best chance because they got the ball back with 3 minutes and 33 seconds and 3 timeouts.
Well, it was messing it messed with your over-under, Will. Did you have it over or under?
I had it under, and it went under by 2 points.
That's right. Yeah. And even the strong.
Gurus all picked Georgia. Everybody picked Georgia last night on all the sites I watched.
I think that the money really was leaning toward Georgia.
Well, all the SEC network people, every one of them picked Alabama. Tebow, Feinbaum,
all the ESPN guys picked Georgia.
Roman Harper. They were
a lot of people don't realize that one of those announcers was one of the best players in the history of Georgia football.
Yeah, he sure was.
What?
Yeah, he was.
Pollock.
Pollock was a great player at Georgia. And he wasn't big. He wasn't big either.
The coin toss yesterday.
What, Pollock did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know this. He was a great one.
I mean, next year, preseason number one will probably be Alabama or Georgia. Then you'll have Ohio State. They got Stroud coming back. They'll be somewhere 3. Who else do you think is going to be really good next year?
The key is if Ohio State can find a defensive coordinator. And the same way with Oklahoma. Those are two great teams, but man, they can't keep anybody from scoring.
Oklahoma's lost both of their quarterbacks now, though.
Now, he can come back if he wants to, and I bet he's going to end up coming back to Oklahoma, I would think.
Oklahoma guy's going to South Carolina.
Well, one of them went to South Carolina. They're saying Williams, the starter that beat him out, is going to Georgia.
Yeah.
Man, this free agency
it's all about name, image, and likeness. What these guys can get paid. Will Anderson, he'll probably make millions next year. Bryce Young, they said, will probably make $5 million next year at Alabama in endorsements.
Who pays them this money, though?
I tell you, though,
all these companies. I mean, shoot, Logan's Restaurant pays Bryce Young. All these autograph companies pay him to sign memorabilia.
I think it's all. It must be autograph companies because I don't see them doing these commercials like Peyton Manning does, or what is that?
Will, let me ask you this question, Will. One of the strengths of Young is that he's able to run away from trouble. He couldn't run away from trouble against Georgia, could he? I mean, he was unable to really move around like he wanted to.
Well, his receivers couldn't get open either. He had several times.
I agree.
He broke away and nobody was open. He just had to throw it away.
That's right. And that's where these experienced receivers come in handy. But
it's really hard to believe that their 2-star receivers, both in domes, both on turf, blow out their knees. Messi blew out his knee in the Georgia dome, and then Williams blows out his knee in Indianapolis, on field turf. Alabama plays their games on grass. It's kind of a strange situation. situation.
You know, Georgia plays, let's look at it. Georgia plays on grass, Auburn plays on grass, Alabama plays on grass. Now Tennessee, have they gone back to grass? I think they have.
I don't know.
The grass.
Yeah, Tennessee's. Well, you know.
Mississippi State's grass. Ole Miss is still turf.
Is it? Okay, Ole Miss. But very few. Vanderbilt is grass.
Florida's grass. I'm trying to think who does play on field turf. I think A&M's grass.
Yeah. It's amazing. The real good programs are still on grass, pretty much.
Well, it was both of them were non-contact injuries. It's like I blew out my knee on the non-contact injury, the ACL and MCL.
Yeah. Well, we'll.
I just don't see how any of these guys that are draft stock. I mean, both of them can come back to Alabama, but I still don't see them doing it. I still just see them trying to get ready. And I guess the NFL team will take a chance on them. They just won't be first-round picks.
All right, let me ask this: will number 31? Is he eligible to go to the draft?
No, he's a sophomore. Will Anderson.
All right, well,
if he decides to play,
I think he'll play. I don't believe he's one of those guys.
You know, you look at it. If Mechie goes, I saw before the game that one of these draft gurus had him as the number 6 overall pick.
Golly,
that's a lot of money.
I didn't
now, if Michael's right that he now goes to the second round because he's going to miss next year with an ACL. That'll cost him his first over the 4 years of that contract about $10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
So now here's what I'm getting to. Yeah, you're playing for a national championship, but why in the heck are you risking $10 million when you?
No.
I mean, if it was not in the playoffs or national championship, this guy would have been not playing in that ball game. But I'm thinking in the future, your team might even be playing for a national championship, and these players look at what happened to Williams and say, that's not going to happen.
There were a lot of teams that they probably lost the bowl game because of players bowing out. Then, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean Matt Brown got hurt in the Sugar Bowl too.
Oh yeah.
I mean it happens.
Really did. It makes a lot of difference. We're going to go.
I did take a Malo tea break.
Yeah. We're going to go on break right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks. So right now, $10,000 off, cash $10,000 off a brand new Ram truck or a Jeep Cherokee right now at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy. And remember, nobody beats a Ram deal. Nobody.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly specials.
It's Alabama's favorite time of year, the tailgate season event, only at Mitchell Hyundai.
No matter what your home team needs, the doctor has the prescription. Like the new 2022 Hyundai Palisade with third-row seating, so no player gets left behind. Plus, we're doubling America's best warranty to 20 years, 200,000 miles. You can't lose with the tailgate season event. Score big with Mitchell Hyundai, Enterprise, Alabama.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
For more on this stunning victory, let's head down live to Coach Dr. Hyundai on the field.
Dr. Hyundai, that was a record win. Please tell the folks at home how you did it.
Well, you know, our guys, they go out there and give 110% every day. And you just can't lose with the Mitchell Hyundai Advantage Package. And with Hyundai Owner Assurance, we double America's best warranty to 20 years, 200,000 miles. Now that's the real dream team. Score big with Mitchell Hyundai, Enterprise, Alabama.
The Walmart Distribution Center in Brundage is now hiring. We've extended our $2,000 signing bonus until the end of January 2022. And you can go back to school with our Live Better You program. Apply online today.
Way or what?
Yes. I went to my first Georgia football game when I was 4 years old.
Oh, me.
I don't remember, but
Where did you grow up?
in a little town called Ashburn, Georgia.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's right
Over near Albany.
Yeah, South
Yeah.
Georgia, right off 75.
Yeah, you got pecan. You got that's known for the bird hunting and pecan fields.
Yes.
Pecan fields.
Yes.
We got a happy Georgia fan on the phone with us. He was a
yeah.
lifelong Georgia fan, and
You know, the only sad thing was hunker down dogs
Yeah,
could not be there.
That's right.
He was probably up there in the heavens looking down on them, though.
Vince Dooley was there last night. Vince Dooley was in the box. He's 89
Yeah,
years
they
old.
said he was going. Of course, we didn't see, but they said he was going, and he like, no.
You know,
a lot of people from Dothan up there.
Did you?
A lot of friends of mine, yes.
Yeah. You know, years ago they had a running back that came out of Carroll High of Ozark named Billy Knowles, and he played at Georgia. Did you know that, Billy Knowles?
I don't remember that.
He was from Ozark. He and Mickey Andrews. Mickey went to Alabama, and Billy Knowles played for Georgia. Of course, Will Matthews is on his way home. This show is brought to you by SARA, Southeast Alabama Rural Health Associates. And ladies and gentlemen, I rode by there yesterday, and it was almost a full lot with people there getting medical attention. Of course,
Kirby Smart wins his first national championship as Georgia's coach. How many national championships do you think that Kirby Smart wins at Georgia?
I'd say 3 or 4.
He actually might win 3 or 4 in a row there. Here, he's got a chance for a run.
Well, if they get the Oklahoma quarterback, he definitely has a chance.
Yeah.
well, it's Saban and Kirby Smart used to talk about it all the time when they were together at Alabama. Is that there's no reason Georgia shouldn't be a top 4 team, or if the top team.
A lot of people think are pretty much, you know, you hear people when they talk about the great football programs. A lot of people say Georgia, and then Texas, and Florida, Alabama, and maybe.
Well, high school football in Georgia is so good, and they've got so many.
Oh, yeah, you got best players right there at the state store.
It's 10 million people in the state, and it's really the only school. You got Georgia Tech, but that's not even in Georgia's league. So it's you got Alabama, the state's half the size, and they're fighting Auburn. Texas is fighting about 8 other schools. I mean, so Georgia, and then Georgia in the SEC East, they're really the only team they got to beat is Florida. So Florida's down. Yeah, Georgia should always be. It's like almost like LSU, because LSU's got the whole state to themselves too.
They sure do.
Kirby Smart's only 46 years old. You got to think Nick Saban's 70 years old, so you got to think Kirby Smart's going to win several national championships.
I tell you, Kirby's he's a fiery guy. You know, how many coaches?
Never.
What now?
He's always running up and down the field.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that guy has to pull his belt loose and keep going on the field.
Kirby Smart was born in Montgomery, Alabama, but grew up in Bainbridge, Georgia. So Bainbridge, Georgia is right by us.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he came to Troy, I'm sure. You know, Bainbridge High School used to come here every summer preseason, and they'd have the preseason camp here, stay all week, and then go back to Bainbridge. I bet you he made that trip to Troy a couple of times out of Bainbridge.
Well, his daddy was a coach over there.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, you know, most.
He probably used to come to Dothan and go to Waterworld. I probably used to see him there when I was a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
His daddy and my next door neighbor were best friends.
Really?
Do you remember Coach Hank Kennedy?
Yeah, I know him well. Knew him well.
Yeah, well, Coach, Hank and him were best friends. Hank passed away about a year ago.
I know, and I played against Hank when he was a quarterback at Dothan High School. It was Hank and a guy named Chapman. They were the two quarterbacks that we played against. Dothan High had probably the best high school team that I've ever seen. They were really good back then. And of course, a lot of these fans that come. Have you seen many Alabama fans as you head south? Have you gone by many Alabama?
All I see is thousands of cars. I don't see any Alabama.
Oh, do you? You're running through a lot of traffic.
I would imagine. I would imagine the Georgia fans are going to have a late checkout. I would imagine they stayed and partied pretty hard. Yeah.
Well, again,
Athens, Georgia is one of my favorite places in the world to visit. I mean, they're their university and their bars and restaurants are, nothing compares to the SEC. I can only imagine the celebration that went on in Athens last night.
Oh, yeah.
I do what I normally do. I turned off the TV before the game was over, and I have not watched any Sports Centers or SEC Network, and I'll probably stay off of all that for about a week.
Yeah,
that's me too, Michael. That's what I do.
Auburn.
So all the information you're getting from me is from what I saw during the game.
Auburn is got another nickname. It's the Charmin. The tree rolling the trees. Yeah, that's right.
This could have been a disastrous year for Alabama. Alabama should have lost to Auburn. Could have lost to Florida. Could have lost to LSU.
LSU at home, yeah.
So
that's right.
They did lose to Texas A&M. You're almost looking at a season that could have been 8-4.
Really, they ought to jump up and down with with all the things that have happened, and they play that well. There's no question that Georgia knew they were in a football game, and it really wasn't over until the guy ran the kickoff.
It was a one-score game. I mean, that last touchdown returned for the interception. I mean, in 90% of the time, that guy's going to hit a D, and they run the clock out.
It almost reminded me of
the final score should have been 26-18.
The way those guys were being blocked, it was almost like the run back of the field goal a few years ago.
The kick six.
Yeah, the kick six.
Yeah,
it reminded me of the way they were playing defense. It reminded me of those guys.
Where were the Alabama players on that interception return? It was just like,
and they had angles. They had angles on him,
Well, all the receivers are downfield, and once the guy got by the lineman,
it was a bunch of slow linemen down there. Yeah, that was sort of that didn't look good. Really didn't.
Alabama. I've been watching on my phone. I guess they got to about the 45-yard line with 39 seconds left. But I don't know if Alabama got a bunch of sacks. I don't know if Alabama got a bunch of
they were sacked. They were sacked twice, at least twice, maybe more than that in the waiting moment.
I'm sure the betting public out there was really hoping for a late score because Alabama had the ball with 54 seconds and 3 timeouts, and that game could have gone over.
That's right. That it sure could have. And
Well, Alabama guy, I'll tell you what, the clock management is terrible at Alabama. I was pulling for Alabama to score, and they had 3 timeouts, and then they third down. I don't know. The clock's running. It was about 15 seconds left, and they don't call a timeout. Yeah. And Alabama, Bryce snaps it with 1 second left, and he gets sacked. But why in the world don't you, when they don't have a first down, the clock's running, you got a timeout, call a timeout. They don't carry over the next season, Coach.
Michael, who led Alabama in receiving?
Latu, the tight end, played phenomenal.
Yeah, he did. How many catches does he have?
I think he had 7 or 8.
He's pretty fast. Did you, after his long pass reception, did Alabama score or had to kick a field goal?
Field goal. See, Alabama's got to score on these big plays.
Yeah.
Because they can't, like Will said, they can't score inside the 10
Georgia
yard.
is the hardest team in the country to score inside the 10-yard line. If you
Here's your box score for the night. Stetson Bennett was 17 for 26, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Who is that?
Stetson Bennett, the quarterback.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So that was a good game. 17 for 26, 224.
He had two long, the diving catch and the long bomb. You take those out, he doesn't have hardly any.
Yeah, he only averaged 8.6 yards a catch. Georgia rushing, White, their big running back, rushed 13 times for 84 yards, 6.5 yards.
I thought he could have run the ball all night. He was a strong running back.
Then they had James Cook had 6 carries for 77 yards. One was for 67.
All right, yeah, and you know who his brother is, don't you?
Yeah, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, the great running back
for the
Twins.
Minnesota Vikings. Played at Florida State.
Oh yeah, the Vikings.
Then we talked about this guy, George Pickens, the former great Hoover player, was coming off an ACL from the spring. He had one big catch for 52 yards.
Is that Pickett?
Pickens, yeah.
Pickens, and he played at Hoover.
Yep.
Yeah, played at Hoover for Niblett.
Golly.
And then Mitchell had the big touchdown catch of 40 yards. Brock Bowers, the great tight end, Alabama held in check. Only had 4 catches for 36 yards. One was a late touchdown. That's the Georgia stats. And then Alabama stats we mentioned earlier. Bryce Young was 35 for 57 for 369 yards.
He threw the ball 57 times. I would have told you. If he throws the ball that many times, they're gonna get beat because there's no running.
Yeah.
Alabama was one-dimensional. You know that?
Well, what you got to look at is the average, though. He threw for 369 yards, but for only 6.5 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had 2 interceptions. Now, Brian Robinson didn't have a horrible game. He had 22 carries for 68 yards.
22 carries. Yeah.
But the amazing thing is that Trey Sanders had 2 for 5, and then Bryce Young had 4 carries for minus 43 yards.
Oh, man. I tell you what, he was not that impressive. No question about it.
Cameron Latou had the game with life for Alabama. 5 receptions for 102 yards, 20.4 yard average. And this is the stat of the night when you look at Alabama losing this game. Jamison Williams, in basically the first quarter and about 2 minutes of the second quarter, had 4 catches for 65 yards, 16.3 average catch. So he was having a big-time night before he got hurt early in the second quarter.
Yeah. Of course,
Michael, when he got hurt, the game was over, and I knew it. I said it right then. The game's over.
You know, I haven't thought about it, but now I agree with you because we're talking about a world-class sprinter.
Could not throw a pass over 10 yards after that.
That's right.
Listen to this, Rice. Christian Harris had a game his life. 7 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. That's your linebacker.
Yeah, he's a good one. You know, Alabama's going to be good. You know, they're going to always be good, and the people that are going to also be good is Georgia. Georgia is on my mind. That's what folks are singing right now.
Alabama's kicker, we mentioned Will Riker was 4 for 5. He had 1 block, which I thought was a big momentum play when that kick got blocked. And then the horrible punting of Burnham, he averaged 37 yards a kick.
Yeah.
Alabama's got to find a better punter to kick it farther than that.
Exactly.
He's been unspectacular.
They have a punter from Troy, Mike, that played at Troy last year.
I think they played the wrong punter all year.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Martin from Northview High School at Dothan, the guy averaged 46 yards a kick at Troy the year before, was all-conference punter, transfers to Alabama to start the season, and I guess he loses the kicking job to the Australian rugby punter.
Yeah. But I tell you what, it's 8 o'clock sharp, and of course, again, our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. And of course, big savings going on right now, especially on Ram trucks and Jeep Cherokees, $10,000 off.
How about the Matthews Law Firm?
And the Matthews Law Firm, Will Matthews, our attorney, and we appreciate him so much. And of course, the Matthews Law Firm is located in downtown Ozark, and they've got many years of experience in the legal field. Of course, also I want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need, with 14 locations, and they're going to make an announcement on 2 more very soon. A fast-growing bank, Troy Bank and Trust Company, a billion-dollar bank. We'll be back.
It's the Big Finish pre-owned sales event. 120 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. 2.5 million in inventory, starting at $2,995. Down payments as low as $29. And payments starting at just $99 a month. Shop at PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
More Force, we've been through a lot this year, from saving Christmas to facing some of our most nefarious foes.
Like the leprechaun.
Like the tax man.
Or the overpricer.
And we defeated them all. So no matter what villain comes for our customers, they'll have to come through us first. We'll keep slashing our prices on new vehicles and beefing up our certified pre-owned selection. All just a click away at MitchellNissan.com. So whatever they need, the More Force is prepared.
More Force!
MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
It's the Big Finish event going on now at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Save up to $10,000 on new Ram 1500 or new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Save up to $10,000 during the Big Finish event at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal.
They don't legalize gambling though.
No, but they have a sports book. Back on our show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company, and of course the Withington Group. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate, Perry Green with the Withington Group right here in Troy, and of course.
All right, tonight you got Auburn, Alabama basketball. Alabama's ranked number 24. Auburn's ranked number 4, which is one of the highest rankings they've had. Alabama at home. This game will be at 8 o'clock on ESPN. This game will be over at about 10:30. Alabama's a 2.5 point favorite at home against Auburn.
Auburn is going to win the basketball game, don't you think? Will, that's the shoe in.
Mike, Mike, stay out of this.
Why?
You don't understand basketball.
I do too.
He was college basketball official, Will.
Well, the home team in the SEC. If you went with the home team, no matter what the spread was on every game, you'd be a big winner.
Yeah, well, maybe so. You're right. The home, but I think this is such a big rivals game. I thought in Auburn sitting where they're sitting, I think it would be sort of a toss-up.
Alabama just had a heartbreaking loss to Missouri. I mean, they actually got blown out, came back, but I mean, they were a 14-point favorite at Missouri and got beat this weekend. So Alabama fell all the way to number 24. Alabama's number 6 at one time in the polls, and Auburn's only had one loss all year.
Yeah. Of course, Coleman. I tell you one thing.
That one loss was triple overtime. It's the only game they lost.
Wow.
Yeah, we had Sonny Smith call in to the show one day, Will, and of course he was telling old Auburn stories, talking about Barkley and Chuck Person and his coaching career, but he mentioned on the show that he thought Auburn was a Final Four team.
That's something. Want to mention?
Well, they've got a kid that's a really good player.
I got several.
He's a 6'10" white kid, and he's a very good player.
Transfer from North Carolina is name's Kessler.
They say he blocks a lot of shots, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they got a freshman phenom, too, Smith, big 6'10" guy, too. Auburn's got tremendous length.
Auburn is the real deal now, it looks like to me.
I mean, Alabama's the real deal, too.
We'll just go down, just stop by that place I was telling you about and make your bet. Of course, we're talking about.
You could actually tonight. Well, you could just drive in Tuscaloosa and catch that game later tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow. I bet tickets will be going for a bunch of money.
Well, it seats 9,000.
About 15,000.
That's right. Yeah.
Auburn's, arena holds about 9,800.
Yeah. Coleman Coliseum. Alabama supports their basketball like very few people. There'll be 15,000 people at that game.
I don't know. They might have a national championship hangover. I don't know if they are going to be somebody coming out or if they got any energy left.
Will, is that where you went to law school?
Yes.
The University of Alabama Law School?
Yes. Of course, I was in the first class. I was in the first class of the new law school.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
When you go to the University of Alabama Law School, you're right next to Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. We have a lot of fun with that this spring.
Are y'all ready to finally start getting into college basketball? I guess it's finally time.
Troy basketball, and then Alabama and Auburn are. Alabama's inconsistent. Auburn looks like they could, Auburn could win it all. It looks like right now.
This weekend.
Yeah, Alabama doesn't have consistent big guys down low. That's what's going to hurt Alabama. And they got a freshman Charles Blasio, who's 7 foot, that gets into foul trouble a lot. They got another guy that's hurt, that tore his ACL, that's hurt, that might come back and help them some. But inside, Auburn should dominate tonight.
Want to mention Wise Office Supply for office supplies, business supplies. Ladies and gentlemen, Wise Office Supply on South Frontage Street is the place to go. And also I want to mention Troy Regional Medical Center, one of the top hospitals in this area. And they do a great job, and they seem to get better every day at Troy Regional Medical Center. Bill Jackson Chevrolet, Bill Jackson Ford will be back in just a moment.
Need to talk about the
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Are you a driver trainee just finishing school and want to drive an automatic truck? Then call Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Right, Fuzzy? We have automatic trucks. That's right. And we will reimburse you for your driver training. No pets? Not at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we thought of everything. We thought of the kennel for your fuzzy friend. Right, Fuzzy? Tell them about it. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Fuzzy.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Back.
When's that? Is that this weekend?
Ladies and gentlemen, back to our show brought to you by Raymond's Beauty Salon. Raymond Style Shop on South Brundage Street. Our good friend, and of course, been there for years and years, Raymond Ledford. We appreciate him. Want to mention this weekend, of course, on Thursday night, Troy's got a big basketball game with Georgia Southern. And then on Saturday night, they play always tough Georgia State in Troy. So we got games on Thursday and Saturday. And then the Saturday game features the comeback to Troy, the 2058 team. And that was in 1992 when Troy State University did something nobody can believe even to this day. They scored 258 points in a game. They beat the Bry Institute of Atlanta 258 to 147, and Troy shattered the old record of 189, which was also broken by Troy before. But 258 points to 147. It was a legal basketball court, dimensions, whatever.
You know who was the sports editor of the Messenger when that happened?
You.
Me. So I was all on top of that. You can go back and read all the Messenger articles about that game.
Yeah, that was, as a kid, that was exciting for me. I went to that game, and then I went to the game the year before. But as soon as you got home, watching ESPN and SportsCenter was a huge deal when I was a little kid. And they started the program on SportsCenter with Troy's basketball game.
Yeah, but a lot of people couldn't believe it. Of course, the first thing you can believe is 51 3-pointers. They made 51 3-pointers, which right there, that's over 150 points right there.
153.
I still think one of the most amazing stats ever is what I read last week. Ron Simpson, the great shooting guard out of Kentucky, scored 37 points in 15 minutes. 37
points in 15 minutes, and of course he could shoot it. Brian, what was Brian?
Of course, Troy fans will be excited. I mean, I hope we have a huge crowd because everybody. I don't remember the last time Don Maestry's been to a basketball game. David Felix has been to a basketball game. I mean, it'd be a lot of old Troy fans. Hopefully, they'll come out and see these former great coaches.
I think they're having some kind of T-shirts made up too, or something.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're going to be a lot of former basketball players are invited back to Troy this weekend, but a lot of them, the 258 team will gather. They'll have a special at halftime and introduce those players.
I need to get. Can you tell me where they're going to be so I can do some interviews? I want to do it.
Well, I'm sure you can. They'll probably be staying at the motels, I would say.
I want to do a retrospective of this event.
They'll probably be staying in the courtyard.
Yeah, they'll be having a party or something, and that you could go to. And I would think they would be staying at the Marriott.
All right, I was going to mention NFL playoffs are starting this weekend. Of course, I don't know if y'all watched any of the games over the weekend. Las Vegas had an unbelievable game against the Chargers where they won on a game-winning field goal. Las Vegas is a 6-point underdog at Cincinnati. Of course, Joe Burrow, the former LSU quarterback, had a phenomenal year. Las Vegas was led last week, though, by Josh Jacobs, the former Alabama great running back, rushed for 132 yards. So he's healthy and playing better. Then, Rice, this is a game that I know you'll be watching. Mac Jones, of course, they just lost to the Dolphins. New England finished, I think, 10-7. Will travel to Buffalo. It'll probably be 10 degrees in Buffalo. Buffalo's a 4-point favorite. You think Mac Jones can find a way to beat Buffalo?
That is terrible. No. That is terrible.
I don't think Mac likes that real cold weather.
No.
Buffalo will drill New England.
Yeah.
It won't even be close.
Jones has really struggled as the season went on. He got really hot. Looked like he was definitely going to be Rookie of the Year. Still got a chance to be Rookie of the Year, but that's going to be a tough game. Then, surprisingly here, Tampa Bay, 8.5-point favorite against Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has led Philadelphia to the playoffs. Of course, Devontae Smith had a great rookie season as well. Landon Dickerson's the starting center for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has proven he's an NFL quarterback. Does that surprise y'all?
A little bit. Let me ask this about the wide receiver. Did he catch over 100 passes?
Waddle did.
He set the record for the Philadelphia Eagles franchise for catches this year, and he's close to 1,000 yards.
Who is this now?
Well.
Devontae
Smith, the Heisman Trophy.
I know it. Okay, tell me what he's done.
Well, I mean, he set the rookie record for catches for the Eagles, and he's close to 1,000 yards. So he's had a good year.
Yeah.
Not spectacular, but a good solid year. Yeah.
Of course, everybody's got to still be pulling for Brady. I mean, what he's doing at 44 years old is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to be league MVP. I mean, his numbers are through the roof. Tampa Bay's an 8.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
But, you know, it'll be a fun game.
Michael, they'll easily cover 8.5. Easily.
And then San Francisco found a way to get to the playoffs. They'll be playing Dallas. Interesting line here. Dallas is only a 3-point favorite at home against San Francisco.
I know it.
For 5 touchdowns the last game. Dallas has been really good all year. Vegas is telling you something down there, Will. What do you think about that?
You're right.
I like Frisco to win the game outright.
Oh, no. They're playing at Dallas, and you're going to take Frisco? I'd take Dallas in a second.
That's why they love you, Michael.
Yeah.
Dallas,
they love you.
Dallas is a team, though, that, always, struggles in the playoffs, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
They have not advanced very far when they do make the playoffs, even though they have a good season. And then this ought to be a blowout, you would think. Kansas City just destroyed Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. Yeah. Kansas City, this is a huge line for a playoff game. Yeah. 12.5 against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That is big.
And then this is interesting, too. They'll play a Monday night playoff game, which you don't see much. You'll have the Los Angeles Rams playing the Arizona Cardinals.
Monday night playoff game. I've never heard of that.
It's the first time they've ever done it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, buddy. I'll take Dallas, and you take 49ers. Let's write that down.
All right, write it down.
Let's write it down. Will says I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Will says I'm crazy to take Dallas.
The Rams and Jared Goff. I mean, the guys traded Jared Goff. They brought in Matthew Stafford, the former Georgia quarterback, and the Rams have been playing really good. They got Odell Beckham Jr. as a wide receiver, but I tell you what, that Kyler Murray, the former Heisman Trophy winner for Arizona, I watched them play Dallas the other day. They're pretty tough as well. That'll be a great game.
That's going to be that'll be a high-scoring game, really high.
It's very strange, but it's almost like Cliff Kingsbury's a better pro coach than he was a college coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's going to be some great games coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, some of these.
One rule I would like to see in college football is on a pass interference. It's where the actual foul takes place. That's one thing I do love about the NFL. It's a pass interference calls on a 50-yard bomb. It goes 50 yards.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can see. I can't stand that because there's so many blown pass interference calls, and so you get a 50-yard play when half of those interference calls are either wrong or dubious.
You're exactly right. I think that's the word.
Like last night, the Alabama defensive back tackled the Georgia wide receiver, and it was a smart play.
Yeah.
Instead of giving up a touchdown, it's a 15-yard penalty.
That's right.
Well, if all of them were that blatant, that would be a good point. But all of them aren't that blatant.
Hey, listen. Guess what? Did you notice that there were no penalties for targeting in that game?
Nope.
Yeah, that was good to see.
In fact, there were not a whole lot of penalties in that game.
Yeah, they didn't call it all. They never called holding. They didn't call.
Yeah, I know it, and they held every down.
Georgia had to be holding.
Well, Alabama had to be holding too.
Yep. Let it go. Let it go. That's what I say.
They let them play. They let them play.
There was a big controversy before the game that everybody was complaining that it was going to be an ACC crew. I mean, I felt like it was pretty right down the middle. I felt like Alabama got some pretty good calls. I felt like Georgia got
Did you know in that game last night that this is a joke that if they did call targeting, that player could not play in the next ball game in the first half. Did you know that?
Well,
that it was actually isn't that crazy?
If it's targeting in the first half, he would only basically be out the second half and be able to play the next game.
But let's just say it's in the second half.
If it's in the second half, yeah, he would have to sit out.
And this is a championship game. Isn't that crazy? That just doesn't make sense.
But I mean, I felt like last night though the referees were pretty decent. I mean, I know a lot of people were complaining about it.
Yeah. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, ladies and gentlemen, is offering you a great opportunity to go to work with one of the finest trucking companies in the world, Sanders Trucking, Troy, Alabama.
I bet Will's going to see a lot and already has seen a lot of Wiley Sanders trucks on the road.
Michael, what were the announcers saying about the fumble at the 10-yard line?
They thought it was the right call. When Bennett fumbled,
it didn't look. It looked like a pass to me. It looked like his arm was moving forward.
The head ESPN referee, the former retired referee, felt like the ball was coming out. Felt like it was a fumble. It wasn't like Bryce Young.
Well,
the first series of the game. Bryce Young's arm was obviously going forward, like an actual pass. I mean, they maybe could have called grounding. When Georgia picked up the ball and ran it in for a touchdown, and everybody was going crazy. That was definitely the right call. Now, Stetson Bennett's arm basically was going up, and the ball kind of shot up like a shot put. And, the crazy thing ever was Brian Branch, Alabama defensive back, just kind of casually went out of bounds and caught that ball, and somehow his foot was in.
Yeah.
But at the time, you
it looked like he was juggling the ball to me.
I mean, it looked like he wasn't even serious about the recovery, though. Like that official that made that call, and he was correct. That was unbelievable.
This one's coming in to us. Will, thank you here.
That might be Will.
Good morning. That's Max, I think. Good morning, Max. How you doing?
All right, I lost you for a minute.
All right, we're trying to get Max Howell. Let's see.
No, that's Will. He dropped off and he called back.
Okay, but how about Max?
Max hasn't called in.
Oh, okay. Who was that that called in?
That's Will calling back.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I got dropped or something. I don't know what happened.
No, you're fine. You didn't get dropped. Not by us. Of course, we want to mention, again, that's a big game for Troy Thursday night against Georgia Southern at home, and we need a big crowd out there. And then also, again, we've got another big game on Saturday. So,
which is what is the 30-year anniversary of the DeVry game? What game is that?
It was what you mean, the final game?
No, what game are they going to honor the 30-year?
The 258 game. People.
Saturday game.
This Saturday. This Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be on Thursday night. We need to mention Auburn got a big transfer quarterback, Zach Quezada, that beat Alabama. The former Texas A&M star quarterback now at Auburn. What do you think about that?
He's not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
He didn't show me a thing.
I don't see where you get that from. That guy was a freshman quarterback that came in and beat Alabama.
Well,
Texas A&M. I think that's a pretty good pickup for Auburn.
I didn't think he was anything out of the ordinary, though. Really.
He's from
Michael, why would he leave Texas A&M?
Yeah, I know it. You're right.
They brought in Johnson, the LSU quarterback, to replace him.
And he is not going to make any difference. Johnson's not. I don't think.
Max Johnson will be an NFL quarterback one day. I'll go ahead and put that on paper.
Really? Okay.
Saying it right. You're on the record right now.
Just the games I've seen, I didn't think it was.
They got 225 pounds. He moves. I guarantee you he'll play in the NFL one day.
All right.
Well, also Texas A&M gets their hurt quarterback back. Remember that Calzada was not the starter at the beginning of the season.
That's right.
So
King was their starter.
King, that's right.
So King will be back. So he didn't want to have a competition with King again.
I mean, Calzada will Quezada will beat out TJ Finley. TJ Finley is not I mean, you're talking about a guy that, I mean, can't even hit a barn if he threw it to it.
Oh, boy.
I mean, that guy is a horrible passing quarterback for all.
He's a specimen, though. 6'7", what, about 250 pounds, something like that?
Hey, Mike.
He's a monster.
Weren't there 2 Alabama football players that wanted to play basketball?
Yeah, McKinstry wants to play basketball.
Who does?
Kool-Aid, McKinstry.
You think are they going to let him? Is he going to switch over to the basketball team, right?
I don't know. They could probably use some help at guard, as far as, coming in, to fill some fouls maybe during games. I don't know.
Well, he plays defensive back for Alabama, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he played. He was a great high school basketball player at Simpson Valley.
There's another player that was, I don't know which one it was going to play basketball too.
Well,
Alabama, I would imagine after today, you'll see a lot of these great players at Alabama, getting in the transfer portal too. Some of these guys that don't get a lot of playing time. So you'll see so many more transfers out of Georgia, Alabama. I mean, this is never going to be, it's never ending.
Yeah, you're right.
Alabama, I think Alabama needs a couple of stud daddy wide receivers to replace Mechie and Williams. These guys that I saw last night, I don't see any of them being in the first round draft pick category.
Everybody says Josh Butte is going with Eli Ricks, the All-American cornerback. He was an All-American wide receiver. Josh Butte out of LSU is supposed to go to Alabama, but that's not been made official yet.
Mike, was it you that told me where our kid from Arkansas is going to play next year? Eastern Michigan.
Oh yeah, Taylor Powell.
Yeah, Powell is going to Eastern Michigan. I hope. Wish him the best of luck.
It's going to be interesting to see if John Summerall goes after a quarterback. If he'll try to bring in a quarterback, or he'll try to do another year with Gunnar Watson. I don't know.
And I think Gunner's got some ability, and I think he'll probably be the quarterback, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think you bring somebody in and give them some competition.
Yeah. Of course, we appreciate Troy Regional Medical Center being one of our sponsors, and we appreciate them. And
look at Raymond.
We appreciate it.
Look, you haven't commented on my haircut.
I know it. You look good, man.
Raymond did it.
Raymond, stylish Raymond. Yeah.
And
also those great grills at Southern Grill and Patio.
To wrap up, but Alabama tonight against Auburn on ESPN at 8 o'clock. Huge basketball game in the state. And all I can say is another great college football season.
It's over.
I am very proud of Alabama's season. They had an unbelievable season with all the injuries. Played for the national championship, and I still think probably Saban's best coaching job ever.
It was a good coaching job, no question about it. And of course, since you said that, one thing we'll end it on this right here. This guy right here, did you see a lot of Big Al at the game?
No, I did not see Big Al at the game. I saw Uga that looked like he was falling asleep.
Uga looked good. Uga got a lot of attention.
Uga was yawning and getting ready to go to sleep. And
somebody brought Uga up there in a motorhome.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
And here comes Big Al as we go off the air. And, of course, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs winning the national championship, and the Crimson Tide of Alabama played them off their feet, but didn't have quite enough to overcome the Georgia Bulldogs. But next year is next year, and we'll forget about this.
Wait until next year.
And we'll wait until next year as Big Al is ready to go.
That's what the losers say.
It's the Big Finish pre-owned sales event. 120 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. 2.5 million in inventory. Starting at $2,995. Down payments as low as $29. And payments starting at just $99 a month. Shop at PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true.